Hi guys, time for 3 more chapters of Planes, Fire, and Rescue. Now remember guys, we are on chapter 12, but in chapter 11, Dusty has just found out that Blaze is famous. The rest of the firefighting crew is about to tell him why. Chapter 12. That night, the moon cast a silvery glow over the air attack base. All was calm and still as Dusty quietly rolled over to the main hangar, eager for answers. He waited in front until a peephole opened. "Password?" Morrow whispered through the opening. Dusty was confused. "Password? You didn't tell—" "Shh, shh, shh," Morrow interrupted. Dusty tried again, whispering this time. "You didn't tell me a password." "It's Inferno," Morrow said dramatically. Then he smiled, revealing his missing tooth. "Oh, okay." Morrow waited as his smile turned to a frown. "Oh, Inferno," Dusty whispered. Morrow slid the peephole firmly shut and opened the hangar door. Inside, Dipper, Windlifter, and Cabby were sitting around an old rear projection television. The smoke jumpers rolled up close to the screen and fought over where to sit. Everyone excitedly grabbed cans of oil and got comfortable. "Park it over here, Dust Storm," Dipper said sweetly. "Saved you a spot." Warily, Dusty rolled over to Dipper. She scooted close, cuddling against him. Then she slowly and shyly put her wing around him. Morrow held up an old videotape with the label, "Howard the Truck." Dusty had no idea what was going on. "Howard the Truck, you invited me here to watch?" Dude, judge not the video by its cover," Dip said. Morrow slid the tape out of the case to reveal its white, homemade label. Episode 17, Disco Inferno, was scribbled on the front in blue marker. Morrow pushed the tape into the VCR and it whirled to life when he hit the play button. After an old commercial about a law office of Larry H. parking lot, a disco beat began to play over a black screen. 2 blue and gold California helicopter patrol copters appeared in the sky over a big city. The snappy theme song began as the show's title, Chopped, appeared on the screen. The 2 stars grinned as their names popped up. Blazin' Blade Ranger and Nick Lopin Lupez. "Hold on," Dusty said, trying to uncover what he was seeing. Blade was a TV star? 139 episodes of law-breaking love, Dipper said, giggling. The smoke jumpers, eager to enjoy the show, shushed everyone. On the screen, a boot was being clamped on a 5-spoke mag wheel. "Good move, partner," Blazin' Blade said with a wink and a smile. The show was pretty cheesy, but Blade and Nick were heroes, and they had a lot of charm. In the Disco Inferno episode, they busted a surly-looking muscle car and then got called to a burning high-rise where a pink Ford Pinto was screaming from a balcony. When Blazin' Blade activated his hoist and saved the Pinto, everyone in the hangar yelled, "Hoist!" and then simultaneously slurped from their oil cans. Dusty could see that this was a tradition with the crew. Once the show was over, the credits rolled by as the theme music played again. "This show stinks," said Cabby. "I'm with Cabby," Windlifter said. The smoke jumpers got defensive and started yelling at Windlifter and Cabby. They loved Chopped. "What are you talking about?" said Dynamite. "This show's the best." "Are you crazy?" Pinecone glared at Windlifter and Cabby. "There's no better show in all of creation if you ask me." Drip jumped in. "Take it back. You did not just say that. Go, get out, leave the room." Dusty couldn't even form an opinion about it. He had so many questions. If Blade was such a big TV star, what's he doing here, he asks. "I don't know," said Drip. "It's a mysterious mystery." The jumpers had all kinds of theories, but nobody knew for sure. "Whatever the reason is, it's his business, and we're not asking," Dynamite said firmly. Later that night, bright streaks of lightning cracked across the dark sky as the storm hit Piston Peak. Dusty peered out of his hangar and saw Blade perched on an overlook, keeping watch on the sky in the valley beyond. Dusty could see how important firefighting was to Blade. He took his job very seriously. The next morning, the siren blared across the base, alerting the crew. Patch's voice sounded urgent on the PA as he announced that the lightning had caused multiple forest fires. Morrow got busy right away mixing the flame retardant. The smoke jumpers spread across the tarmac and loaded into Cabby after he lowered his gate. Lightning Storm started a whole slew of spot fires, and they've merged, said Blade. This is a big one. What made matters worse is that the wind was causing the fire to spread rapidly. Blade ordered Dipper and Windlifter to load up. He told Dusty to wait in the hangar. What? Dusty asked, disappointed. Dusty's been practicing very hard, Dipper said. He's not certified, Blade said. We need every plane we've got, said Windlifter. I want to help, Dusty pleaded. Blade thought for a moment, narrowing his eyes, and called to Morrow. Load him up, then took off. Morrow rolled up and snatched a picture of Dusty with his camera. What's that for? The wall, Morrow said bluntly. Chapter 13. At the fire, the smoke jumpers were busy at work, doing what they did best. Blackout sawed through a thick log, and Dipper dragged it out of the way. Pinecone raked up brush into a pile, and Avalanche pushed the pile off to the side. Dipper flew overhead, releasing retardant on the fire. Dipper, come left 1 wingspan on your next drop. Champ, tag on and extend. Split load, Blade ordered. Copy that, said Dusty. Dusty dove and lined up for his drop. Focusing on the target, he concentrated, aimed, and dropped. Too high, Blade said angrily. It all disappeared. Windlifter, finish off that ridge. Dusty huffed in frustration. He was trying his best. Why had he missed his target? On the ground, Dynamite eyed the ridge, sensing a problem. The wind suddenly shifted and the smoke started blowing in the other direction. Then the fire jumped the line and ignited the trees behind the jumpers. Pull back, pull back. Let's go right now, Dynamite yelled to the other smoke jumpers. With embers blowing all around them, the smoke jumpers turned away from the fire as it quickly moved toward them. Dynamite led the jumpers to a dry creek bed. They thought they could find safety there, but then, with a sudden loud crack, a massive burning pine fell onto the ground, blocking their path. Dynamite radioed Blade. The wind shifted. The fire jumped the line. Can you make it to your safety zone? Asked Blade. No good. Our escape route is blocked. We need a drop, replied Dynamite. Blade called Dipper, but Dusty responded first. I see him. I've got it, he said, determined to help. Dusty soared above the smoke jumpers. Concentrating, he aimed and released his retardant, right on target. Dusty had finally done it. The flames were extinguished. We're clear. Let's move, Dynamite called to the other jumpers. They were safe. That's my dust muffin, Dipper yelled proudly. Champ, load and return. Blade said, we've got a lot of work to do today. Copy that, Dusty said with a big grin on his face. He had finally done something right. Chapter 14. The crew worked hard to contain the fire, and Dusty continued to do his best to help. It was a really long day, but at the end of it, Dusty felt great. Once the sun finally started to set, the crew returned to the base, exhausted and covered in soot. Dynamite just reported in. They're going to camp out tonight and mop it up tomorrow, said Patch over the PA. Morrow asked Cabby about how the fire was looking. We've got that sucker boxed in, replied Cabby. Nice work, Morrow complimented him. So that's it? Asked Dusty. Dipper exclaimed to Dusty that now that the fire was contained, the jumpers would continue to work on it until it was completely out. You did a great job out there, sweet seat, she said sincerely. Thanks, I saw the jumpers were in trouble, so Blade rolled by. You broke found formation in a crowded airspace, he said firmly. Could have been you spread all over those woods instead of the retardant. Don't be planning your certification party yet, champ. Blade rolled off, leaving Dusty feeling as charred as a burnt-up pine tree. Aw, man, Dusty said with a sigh. Come on, that's just Blade's way of saying good job, Dipper said gently. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Several private planes flew right over their heads. Whoa, said Dipper, that was low. Windlifter said it had to be Kay's VIPs arriving for the big grand opening party. Dusty had completely forgotten. The party was later that night. Hey, we should go, he said. A second date? Dipper said with a huge smile. I kind of meant all of us. Me, you, Windlifter, just everybody. Oh, okay, no, you're right. I should get to know your friends, Dipper said. But they're your friends, Dusty said, confused. Dipper chuckled. Yeah, I guess. Let's not bicker. Dusty looked at Windlifter. Bewildered, Windlifter just shrugged. Well, guys, I hope you're still enjoying our story, and I'll see you again next time.